Hi, everybody. We're trying this on video just to do something different. I know that we've had Robin here and he's done some clips, but we decided we're just going to record this whole darn show and just see how it goes.
Does that pick up my sit-down noise?
Right. Just sometimes folks just like video, you know, and you cannot see him, but the most amazing person is right there, Drew.
Yeah.
He basically just makes the whole show possible and is such a wonderful blessing to us. So we're so thankful for him. But we are ready to roll whenever you are.
Okay. Let's do it. We'll go in 3, 2.
Good afternoon, everybody. We got John and Debbie Morris here with Integrity Training Systems in studio. Hi, Deb.
We're here. Woo-hoo!
How you doing?
Good to be on the radio with you again.
Yes, yeah, we're excited to be back at it. We want to talk as we are in December here, which is crazy in and of itself.
Doesn't it feel like it's the end of June?
It does. This year has been...
Actually, today is warm. It's starting to get warm enough. And with the way you're dressed right now, it feels like, maybe that's why it feels like the end of June.
Right.
You're wearing your Florida shirt.
I had to wear my hat.
With the winter hat.
Yeah,
Florida shirt with the winter hat. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, welcome to Missouri.
That's true, yeah. You probably need it.
I remember growing up, my dad used to always say, just wait till you get to be my age. The years go by faster. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And now I'm like, they actually really do start to do that. Coming to the end of this year, though, I want to talk this segment about not eating your way through a holiday. You know, I want to talk about the way the holidays work. And a lot of times, food is an important part of the holiday. I mean, it's what we gather around. It's what we gather for. It's a way to kind of bring people together. You know, you don't have anything else to do, so you go to eat or you have a meal or whatever it may be. And I find that so many people in what we do, our line of work, the fitness community, but the health community, they struggle with that. You know, people will say, oh, well, the holidays are coming up, though, so I'm just going to wait to get started. And I'm like, you live in the United States of America. If you wait to get started till the holidays are over, you're going to die.
Right.
Like, there are so many holidays, you know, and if you think about it, it's like, okay, we got Thanksgiving, and then you've got Christmas, and then you have the end of the year, and then we're starting into January. People can carry that all the way to Easter, you know, so...
Yeah, this is a tough corner to turn because you have Halloween.
It is.
You know,
and
Halloween
so you
all
do.
the way to the first of the year.
You really do. You really, you'll see people struggle from October until February.
I honestly think it starts with, I know it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like I'm making like more of it than I should, but given what I do for a living and how many years I've done it, I have watched that little bit of Halloween candy, just that little bit, like, oh, I just had a little bit of Halloween candy. I've watched that turn into 30 pounds by January the 1st because it's just the cycle that just gets created.
I think this is the point I want to make is success when it comes to nutrition comes from persistence. The persistence is the key. And so if you find yourself in a place where your persistence and your discipline gets broken, that's when you're going to see yourself slip up and lose that. And you want to think about the discipline as like, this is a working, moving object. Okay, this is something that's, you know, working well, it's flowing, it's, you know, doing its job. And then when you talk about a piece of Halloween candy, maybe it's even 1, maybe it's 10, maybe it's an entire king-size bag of something like I would eat. You know, it's like when something like that happens, it's a wedge. And so what can happen is when a wedge gets driven into something, you have 2 options. You either pull the wedge out, or the wedge continues to plug itself in until you've got a broken object, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the candy becomes this wedge, and you have 2 options. You can either get the wedge out, maybe the candy, that's truly it, you get out,
right,
and then that's the end of it.
The next day, you're done with it, right.
But if you don't do that, then next thing you know, you've been off your food for 4 months.
Right. It's just, the thing is that it shifts a person's brain around. That's the hardest part. It's like, as a health coach, you don't want to tell someone that they can't have a piece of candy on Halloween, or that they cannot have a piece of pie on Thanksgiving, or cannot have a cookie on Christmas. You know, you cannot have a champagne toast on January 1st. You don't want to say, I really feel like you should not do this. And honestly, I don't. I really don't. I always tell someone, I know you're going to have cake on your birthday. I know you're going to have a cookie on Christmas. I say that. But then when people really start to transform, they genuinely start to feel the difference, and all of a sudden they love the way they feel every day, and they're so sharp in the brain, and they're just really not feeling pain anymore, and their digestion is better, and their mood is more stable, and they're doing better at work, and they're having a better time in their marriage, and they can adapt with their kids better. All of a sudden they have something to lose, right? Like
right.
It's like, oh, I don't know if I want to backpedal. But then they haven't really done any of that stuff yet. They're doing so well. They haven't done it. So in a way, there's this like, oh, I'll be fine. Like I can have a little bit of that. I'll be fine. So the last thing I want to do is tell someone not to, but then they do, and whoa. It sinks them, because some of those foods have such addictive qualities, and they throw off the blood sugar, and they raise your histamine levels, and they get the body super swollen, and then they start to trigger your neurotransmitters, and now your brain is wanting more the very next morning, and you went from having 3 Milky Ways to the next day suddenly thinking it's a good idea to go to IHOP.
Right.
Like you haven't done that for 6 months. You've lost 100 pounds. You've lost 50 pounds. You've lost, you're off your cholesterol medication. You're off your blood sugar medication. But then all of a sudden the next day you're like, oh, we could just go to IHOP. We've already screwed up and had Milky Ways. You know what I mean? And then it starts like that. I know it sounds like a dramatization, but I swear it's not.
Well, it's what we watch happen. And the reality is, if you're already feeling well, it's easier to actually, in my opinion, throw yourself off. Like if you get started and you're not feeling well yet and you're trying to feel well, I think you can stay more engaged than if you're feeling well, because if you're feeling well, you think that, like, I can get away with a little something, or
right.
It's just one meal, or I go to 3 family things for Thanksgiving. I'll just eat at those 3 family things. It's no big deal. But it is a big deal, because it can create a situation where you fall off. And if you're someone like me, where you actually truly have addiction to food, it becomes really easy to let that one thing be a catalyst that creates a negative scenario for months and sometimes longer to come.
And I mean, really, like in a case of someone like you, John, which I work with people in those cases all the time, or in a case of someone like me with my health issues, what it's going to do is open up the door to a need for recovery in the next 3 months. Like, John's brain would get so thrown off, and his mood would be thrown off. It would make it difficult for him to work. It would make it difficult for him to communicate with other people.
Well, everybody
difficult
gets sick
to get
too.
out of bed. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, John has the flu.
Right.
John has bronchitis. John has pneumonia. And you're like, well, that couldn't have happened just because he had one pizza. But it does. It really does.
Your immune system falls to fight.
I know 15 years ago, when I had a more variety in my diet, I would have, something, and it would be once a week, and I would get so sick, and it would create a virus, and it would create histamine response. The unfortunate thing is that when you make exceptions, you have to have the expectation that you're going to have to live with what's going to come at the end of those exceptions. Exceptions
create repercussions, and so you have to be prepared to take that repercussion on. And we're going to talk about this a little bit in the coming segments, but we're talking right now about people who have already made the decision to be healthy and to be well, but we're going to talk about, if you're waiting to make that decision, why you shouldn't wait until the first of the year to do that. Like, the best time to start something is yesterday. The second best time is today, and the worst time to start something is tomorrow. Because most times tomorrow ends up being really, really far away.
First of all, tomorrow might not even come.
Right.
You're living everyday life not feeling good. You've got to get yourself to a position to where you start feeling good.
Well, I just think that, people walk around assuming that the way they feel is how they have to feel.
Right.
I remember before my heart attack in my 20s thinking, well, this is just what it feels like to get older. This is what it's going to feel like. I'm supposed to hurt this much. Everybody complains and says they're as tired as I do. I don't feel well. I get sick once a month. This is just who I am. This is just what I have to deal with. But it's not. Like, there's actually health out there for you.
There was quite literally a time in my relationship with John, where John got sick once a month. And when I say sick, I mean like needed medication.
Yeah, flu.
It was
or
flu. It was bronchitis.
pneumonia.
It was pneumonia. I mean, he had COVID 3 different times. We are finally equipping his immune system to where it's calmed down enough, and food has been a really large part of it. And I want to talk about that in the next segment, John, where you finally just gave in and threw in the towel and said, I can't eat cheese anymore. It's making me sick. I want to talk about things like that because at the end of the day, I know it was a huge decision and I'm super proud of him. But at the end of the day,
So good. I used to eat blocks of cheese like they were
we
candy
just
bars.
have to seriously start to figure out what is it going to take to get me out of this circumstance. And that's what we do. We have a 6-month nutrition program where we tell you exactly what to eat, where to buy it from, how to prepare it, what to order when you eat out, what to do when you travel. We also have a 6-month master's nutrition program, which starts in January. It's all done virtually. One way or another, we can help you with your nutrition and we can also help you with your exercise. For more information on Integrity Training Systems, give us a call at 636-299-2208 or take a look at us at integritytrainingsystems.com. We'll be back. That's good.
Good job, Deb.
You look
Perfection.
tan.
I think my blood
Do you think, or are you
pressure's
just
up.
hot?
Yeah.
I all of a sudden, it
is
was
warm
like,
here. It
I went
definitely
like,
warm here.
did you feel that when we first started? Was it just me?
No, I think the heat turned on.
I know.
No, we closed the door. That's our trap.
Should I?
Oh.
should we-
You can open it.
okay.
Yeah.
It was just funny because I was like,
Yeah, step out there, feel how much
Hot
cooler it is
flash?
probably
Yeah.
now.
I didn't know. I don't feel like I have hot flashes. Like
I feel like any
hormonal-
flash that you have is hot.
Thanks, honey. That's very nice. That's so nice.
it's on
You too,
camera.
honey, right? Yeah. But I don't feel that I've had hormonal hot flashes, but yet sometimes I'll get hot like that and I'll be like, is anybody else hot? Because I'm just trying to figure it
Yeah, no,
out.
that's my fault.
Like, is it a hormonal thing?
No,
Yeah.
I shut it off.
You-
I was like, we are doing hot radio show. It's like hot yoga, but without the stretching.
That's what it felt like. Just
Yeah.
so you know, I was like ready to start going into like some sort of pose
Yes.
while we were doing it. Because why not take advantage of it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, great.
All right. You
Sorry
ready?
if I shut that
You
door.
ready?
I don't
No,
even
I
remember.
shut
Oh,
it.
I was like, I don't even remember.
That's why I
shutting it.
said I did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. You ready to do this?
All
then?
right.
ready to do this.
Go
Then.
for it.
Can't wait.
3, 2.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems here in studio. We were just talking a lot about the holidays and how they can actually throw you off going into the beginning of your year, get you out of your discipline orientation, out of your routine, because everybody has this expectation that you should be able to eat whatever you want, which you can do, but there's a repercussion to that. On the flip side of that, we were talking a lot about people who are kind of already in that element. They have the discipline in place. They have the motivation to do what they should be doing to remain healthy. But I want to talk a little bit about the people that are referred to as the New Year's resolutionists. And so a New Year's resolutionist is someone who has made it to the end of the year, whatever they've been through, cataclysmic life events. Most people have something that they deal with over the course of a year. They've decided it's time to do something for me, to change my life, and I'm going to get well. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are the type of person at the gym that dislikes these people, I hate you. But I get people, I get people that say they're like, oh, here come the New Year's resolutionists. They're going to clog the gym up. Good. Teach them something. Help them. Make them stick with the program, because you saying that they're going to be gone by February or March, that may be true, but the reason they're gone is not because they didn't want to change their lives. It's because they either didn't know how, failed, or you were rude.
I don't think anyone's ever said that ever at our gym, because
No, not at
I
our
think people
gym.
are super excited to see.
Yeah,
new
they're
people
ready to
come
see people
in.
change, but that's why
But
we had to
that's how
manufacture a
some
place.
gyms are, though. Yeah.
We had to manufacture a place where that's the conversation, because unfortunately in most gyms people are bothered by people coming in. But here's what I want to tell you. If you're someone who's already thinking about the New Year's resolution, you're someone who's already thinking you want to make the change in your life, first off, I'm proud of you. Make that step. But second off, January 1st doesn't have to be the day.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be all in. This is where people get confused. They think, oh, well, I'm going to have to do 8 hours a week of cardio and 4 hours a week of strength training, and I'm going to have to eat chicken and rice and green beans for the rest of my life. No, like, start today. Don't have refined sugar today. Pull it out. Just get rid of it. Just don't have refined sugar today. Tomorrow, change something else. If that's too fast paced for you, change something the following week. If you can go 7 days without refined sugar, you're going to feel better.
Yeah, every time
take
you think
dairy
about
out.
having sugar, have a piece of fruit.
Yeah, take dairy out the following week. See how long you can
soda
go
out.
without dairy. Take soda out, which you may
Which you
think
would have
that's what
to
I'm
if you-
drinking, but this is a Zevia sparkling water.
It-
Did you like the way I presented it?
That's
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what- yeah,
Please
we're
sponsor us,
really
Zevia.
not,
I like to
sponsored
drink
by
your
them,
water.
but anyways, right.
But yes, but don't drink soda if you're drinking soda. Watch fast food. Try to find something that doesn't necessarily come out of a can. These are just simple things that you can change now to prepare you for the beginning of the year, because it's going to be next year. 2023 is around the corner. 2023 is going to start. And all of a sudden, you're going to be halfway through 23 prepping for how you need to start doing something different in 24. Or maybe you're going to end up going and you're going to get caught up in that New Year's resolution swing of things and end up falling out because you weren't properly prepared, which is what we do.
And how
we
many
hope you do
people
that.
have had a heart attack that honestly I've visited and spent time with in the hospital who knew, they felt the prompting that it was time for them to make a change.
Right.
They genuinely felt it. The people that I've worked with in the past that have had unexpected heart attacks, every single one of them tell you that I remember feeling a little bit winded, or I remember feeling a little bit of chest pain. I just kind of ignored it. I thought I had heartburn, or I just started feeling more tired than I should have. I think there maybe has been a handful of people that, the heart just truly didn't operate
The first
properly.
thing that I felt, I shifted in my seat. I was driving, and I thought that my vest shifted weird and got too tight on my chest. That's what I thought I felt.
So at the end of the day, yes, maybe you want to wait till the first of the year because you want to enjoy your holiday. Well, enjoy your holiday. I mean, have some things on Christmas, but try to buckle it down before, like John is saying. And, before we started this segment, we were talking a little bit about, John getting sick, quite literally every month. I know it sounds dramatic, but I swear to you, it's the truth. There would be 2 or 3 days out of the month where John would be sick every single month. And he was sincerely sick. Not
the man flu,
Right.
Not like where I have like a little bit of a sniffle and it puts me down. Like, we're talking legitimate illnesses requiring a antibiotic or a steroid to overcome.
Right, which has created its own scenario, just even having to need that. But we were equipped with the right doctors and doing the right things now, so things are starting to move in the right direction. But like an example, John, I think you should speak of this. This was a really hard decision for you. You would eat clean throughout the week, but then every weekend you would have 2 pizzas, gluten-free pizzas, 2 gluten-free pizzas on Sunday, and 2 gluten-free pizzas on Monday. And for the most part, that was legitimately all you would ever have. It wasn't like you really had much else. But you down-regulated, you would get tired. I mean, there was just always something that ended up happening,
Yes.
that made you sick from it. And I think it was the last time you ended up with COVID, we were just like, we just got to change something.
Yes.
Because, you had COVID 3 times in a year.
Yes.
And so we were just like, okay, we just have to change something.
Well,
so you decided to remove dairy.
Well, dairy was really tough for me because I had convinced myself of a few things. One, that it didn't bother me that bad because the immediate effect, the only thing that happened immediately was I could deal with some congestion. I could feel like I was a little bit stuffy in the nose after I would have it the next day. So I would tell myself that was my only side effect. That was my only repercussion. But see, that was only the surface repercussion.
Right. So that mucus.
What was actually happening was I was building up mucus, which was building up bacteria. And so then next thing you know, I'm actually getting sick. And so for me, getting rid of dairy was tough because I was doing that for my once a week, having some form of gluten-free pizza, which again, I was doing gluten-free. I thought, okay, well, I'm at least trying to be a little bit healthier. People think that, and it's like, no, what else is on that? I was doing a gluten-free wrap through Pure Plates, which has very, very minimal cheese on it, but even that. So what I did is I continued to do my wraps through Pure Plates. I just asked them to remove the cheese, which they completely do. They just customize it for you. So I got that removed. And I had to quit having my pizza, and lo and behold, I quit getting sick. I may still get a sniffle, but yeah, I'm 3 months in, and I haven't had to miss work. And those are undeniable results. You want to deny it, but then all of a sudden you're like, wow, it really has been 12 weeks and I haven't been sick. And so not only do I get to go to work, which I like to do, and I get to keep our business open, which I like to do, but I don't have to be sick, which I also like. So you think you're giving up something you like and deserve, but what you actually deserve and what you truly like are to be well. Just be well.
Absolutely. And that's what we strive to do. We strive to help you feel well. We want you to be at your best. One of our mottos is train to live. We train people to live the very best life possible, to have them feeling their very best at all times, whether it be through exercise, opening the body up, becoming less acidic, more flexible, more mobile, or through your nutrition and making you less acidic on the inside. We have a 6-month nutrition program. Let us coach you. We also have a 6-month online master's nutrition program with cooking courses and nutrition courses, discipline and spirit courses, and exercise, all involved in one course. It starts on January the 7th. It's all done online, and you can do it at your leisure whenever you have time. You're also involved in an excellent community of like-minded individuals. For more information on our nutrition programs with Integrity or a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers, you can give us a call at 636-299-2208 or take a look at us at integritytrainingsystems.com.
Cool.
Did you notice I'm smiling?
Yeah, it's good. It's always good to see your smile. I feel like you kind of got like some Saturday Night Fever going on there. Do you want my chain?
Yeah. I almost wore my chain.
Okay.
Do you feel like that? Should I open it?
You don't have your own thing. It's getting hot.
Yeah, exactly. Should I take off my
It was
up?
getting hot here. It's better. That door open was a huge change.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll start this one talking about making time for exercise and rest amidst the holiday season.
I'd say let's just start with get started.
Okay.
Don't wait till the first of the year. Get started.
Okay.
Please. Just
Sounds good.
moral of the story is we can change. Start changing your life today.
Okay. Yep.
Cool. Long one. So what to talk about? All right. 3, 2.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems, talking a lot about the end of our year. The holidays coming up, the struggles of the holidays, what goes into getting through the holidays, not letting yourself be derailed, and if you're looking to start a life-changing experience going into the beginning of the next year, getting started now, not waiting.
Right.
And
don't wait.
Yeah, I mean,
do it today. Seize the day.
That's my deep voice. Did that get the point across?
Don't wait.
Okay, you just said it quieter.
Okay.
That wasn't actually deeper.
That's the only way I can make it deeper.
But here's the thing, guys. This is what we do for a living. You can contact us. You can contact anybody that does what we do. My whole thing is, of course, we'd love to work with you, but what we want you to do is work with someone. And the reason I make that such a prevalent statement is it's easy to get started. It's tough to necessarily know what to do. And so when you run into the difficulty after you've started, it becomes just as easy to give up as it is to start. And so what I like to tell people is find someone that can hold you accountable, find someone who knows what they're doing, look into their credentials, ensure that they are going to be someone that actually helps you and doesn't harm you. But just get started. January, you'll see people getting started. February, you'll see people getting started. March. But there's nothing that says you can't start in December. I'll tell you what, I've got one couple, they just started with me about 2 weeks ago. And they're actually genuinely excited to have the assistance in tackling Thanksgiving, or having had the assistance in tackling Thanksgiving
when they did,
as well as tackling Christmas, and then going into the new year. They actually said they feel like they're going to have a jump start on their year because they're going to be healthy as they're determining what the beginning of the year looks like. And I think that's fantastic.
And it's like, don't assume that you can't have an awesome meal just because you're trying to eat healthier. I have a 200-page cookbook I just wrote. It's brand new. You can buy it on the website, you can buy it on Amazon, but there's tons of healthy cookbooks. You could get Whole30 cookbooks. I have an apple crisp. I have pumpkin bread. I have pumpkin pie. We have all sorts of blueberry banana bread, all sorts of desserts in there. You can find a dessert. Anyone that's ever made the apple crisp in there has said that's just as good as apple pie, Deb.
Really, truly is.
And at the end of the day, there's absolutely nothing in the apple crisp that is not okay to have. So, you
wait,
could...
like every day?
Really, at the end of the day, we could honestly make it an afternoon snack for somebody. It's nuts, it's almond flour, it's pecans, it's apples, it's coconut oil, cinnamon, stevia, and then vanilla protein powder, collagen. It's just not that hard, and there's really, there's nothing in there that we have to be concerned about. None of that is going to make you sick. So it doesn't mean that you have to go through the holiday and not have something that you enjoy. You're not going to be able to pick it up at the Cheesecake Factory. You're going to have to put a little bit of effort into it, but it doesn't even have to be that intense. So don't think that just because you decide that you're going to make some different decisions that you can't enjoy your food. Your food can taste great. That's one of the biggest reasons why I suggest working with someone, because let someone coach you on how to cook. Let someone coach you on how to shop. Let someone coach you on how to pull all of this together so that you have the ability to actually make clean choices, but really enjoy what you're having. Not get yourself into a position to where you're so sick of having boiled chicken and steamed green beans. Really actually enjoy each day. But I just really just want to stress, please just start making some decisions today. Don't wait until the first of the year. And I feel the same holds true with exercise. There's some very simple things that a person can do to start to feel better. You can sit in your desk chair and you can open your chest up and you can just really start to get better circulation in your upper body. You can put one foot up on a chair and you can bend over and you can start to get better circulation in your lower body. You can go down on one knee and you can lean forward and you can start getting better circulation in your hips. All of that is just simply mobility, flexibility, and circulation. Another thing you can do is take the stairs every day. You can deem a 10-minute break every day where you walk your floor at work, where you walk the outer perimeter of your house. You can be intentional about exercise, but it could be slowly but surely you start adding it, but just start doing it.
Well, a good, for instance, is I'm going to be doing a Tough Mudder next year, and that Tough Mudder is a 15K, so it's 10 miles. And the way that I've started to train for this 10-mile jog, we're not running it, is to walk a mile a couple times a week. Now, if you walk a mile, walking a mile on a treadmill, really should, for me, take about 15 minutes. Well, what's 15 minutes on a treadmill? Well, what that is that's preparation for a 10-mile obstacle course I'm going to do. My point is, people don't give enough credit to a little bit of work. A little bit of work can change you. If you don't have 45, 50, 60 minutes to go do a workout, but you do have 10 or 15 to stop in and get on a treadmill and get your heart rate up and sweat a little bit, then do it. Making that simple change to your daily rotation of sitting around and doing nothing is going to absolutely 100% change your health.
I just spoke to a very successful financial advisor today, and he said, I think it was a book called Atomic Habits. He was recommending that I read this book. I haven't read it. I don't know the author. I don't know anything about it. So I apologize to everyone if it talks about crazy stuff, but he recommended this book to me. And he just said there's a 10-minute rule. And it basically says take 10 minutes and start working towards the craft, start working towards whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Sure.
So he just started writing in that 10 minutes, 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day he would write. And, I cannot stress enough, 10 minutes of walking, 10 minutes of stretching, 10 minutes of stretching can be game changing to how a person feels. You can move your lymphatic system. You can make yourself less swollen. You can make yourself feel more awake because you're circulating your blood better. You can keep yourself from getting headaches because you're not so locked up in your neck. You can make it to where your stomach isn't as swollen because your hip flexors are not so tight because you've been sitting all day and you're loosening it up. That's just stretching. Okay, now in Chinese medicine, they say that you can increase your qi, which is your basically your internal blood energy, basically, and 10 minutes of brisk walking. That's it. Just 10 minutes of brisk walking. No elevation. Just getting on the treadmill and setting up a brisk walk. So it would be one where your arms are pumping and that you're probably not carrying on a full-blown conversation, but 10 minutes of that can increase your qi. That's what's suggested. So what they're saying is you're going to increase your circulation. You're going to increase your endorphins. You're going to make it to where you are healthier.
I just find it interesting when things align like that. Like you got a guy that's writing a book that doesn't have anything to do with Chinese medicine. He's telling you to take 10 minutes. And then you've got Chinese medicine medical professionals that are telling you to take 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like when things start to align that cross, countries and language barriers and topics,
right?
It just starts to seem like, okay, there's something to this. This makes sense.
What was fun talking with him is that the connection that was really cool that we had was that he was talking about financial discipline, and I was talking about health discipline, and what we were saying is truly if someone is disciplined in their finances, they are typically, not always, but typically disciplined in health and in fitness. Not always, and if someone's disciplined in their health and fitness, they're typically disciplined in their finances because it just crosses the board. I just think
discipline crosses the board. You look at discipline, that's why there's also all these books, these gurus, people tell you that start your day by making your bed. Start your day by putting things away. Start your day by keeping things clean. Well, the reason for all of that is because that's going to create a situation where you keep the rest of your life clean. Who was I just watching? Where were we? Someone was just recently talking about having a friend come over to their house.
Oh, right. Yeah, the pastor.
That's right. Okay, that was at church.
Not our pastor, but it was a guest pastor.
Yeah. So they were talking about they had a friend going over to their church, or over to their house, I'm sorry. And this friend was a mentor. And so they said that the mentor was like, asking questions and that this person, was just all in disarray. Their whole life was in disarray. Everything was hectic. And so finally the friend was like, hey, turn down this way. Let's go here. And then this person realizes, oh, we're heading towards our house, my house. So he tells the mentor like, oh, remember I left my car at your house. So the mentor goes, yeah, no, I know. I want to come to your house and see if I could assist you with some of the disarray. So the speaker starts panicking. The speaker's like, oh my gosh, my house is terrible. Like it's literally a college dorm. It's like there's pizza probably still sitting on the floor. Like there's plates all over the place, trash everywhere. And so he finally just kind of breaks and says that it's like that. And the guy's like, oh, well, that's okay. It's no problem. I'd like to help. So they go inside the house and he's got his head down and he's real defeated and he's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, well, what are you apologizing to me for? Like, this doesn't have any effect on me. I just want to help you with it. The moral of the story is that if you leave your house in disarray, the rest of the things around you are going to be really hard to discipline.
Down,
it's a trickle effect. So if you're finding yourself, unhealthy, unwell, work is out of control, spiraling, maybe it's not your home, but something can be locked down. Like you need to actually sit down and come up with a plan of action, a plan of attack. And if it's fitness and health, that's the issue. That's what we do. We actually help you establish that plan of attack. We help you design something that's going to work for you. It's not just a blanket decision. It's something that's going to make you able to consume the food you're supposed to eat, make things the way that they need to be made for you, buy them from the place that you need to buy them from if cooking's not an option. And these are the types of stuff that it becomes really difficult to do on your own. But on your own, before the new year, if you need to wait, sometimes we get people that will come to us with tax returns. Like if you've got something that's got you, this is truly, John, when I have to wait until, take dairy out, take refined sugar out, and just get started.
Stop drinking soda and get walking and start stretching and just start making some very basic habit shifts. Start committing to listening to a positive message every day, whether it be a sermon, whether it be a motivational. Maybe you listen to a doctor like Dr. Mark Hyman, or you listen to a podcast about health, about overcoming whatever you're dealing with, or you listen to something like Jocko Willink and you listen to him talk about discipline on a regular basis. You listen to someone talk about discipline every single day, it is really hard to not aspire to be disciplined. If you listen to someone talk about how great they feel because they eat clean and how great they feel because they exercise every day and how amazing their life is now because they started stretching 10 minutes a day, you may feel a little bit like, hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe I'll start stretching.
Right. You are going to be a product of what you bring in. People talk about calories in, calories out, and I don't 100% agree with that, but I do believe in garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
So if you are bringing garbage into your life on a daily basis, that's what you're going to produce. So if you can bring in a positive message, if you can bring in something motivational, if you can bring in implemented discipline, then it's going to stick.
Well, we're here to help you. That's what we do. We have a 6-month nutrition program where we meet with you one-on-one and tell you exactly what to eat. We teach you a lot of science. It goes way beyond macros. It's all about understanding the depth of food and what it can do for you, how to help it heal you. We also have a 6-month master's nutrition course where we teach you how to cook. We teach you how to exercise. We have so much that we throw into that course. It's all done online at your leisure. For more information on either of those programs or a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers, give us a call at 636-299-2208 or take a look at us at integritytrainingsystems.com. Sorry, I feel like that one went over a little bit. Didn't mean to, but
you can go over. I can cut a commercial first or boring.
You're doing great, Deb.
stretching.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's your stretch. Okay, so what do you want to talk about this
Some
last one?
stretching before we came, like on my lower body, was foam rolling and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I cranked up this, and I needed to take the time to like stretch that too.
Yeah. We kind of covered making the time for it,
Making the time for it.
That's what we kind of ended up going into there. I had to make time for exercise and rest, But we kind of covered that. What do you,
Okay.
do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, for the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10:30.
Okay. Well, I mean, I would say let's maybe talk a little bit about the folks that are down and they're running low, and the food is kind of really the only thing that's kind of keeping them going. The depression that comes with the holidays, the loneliness that comes with the holidays, and that food only fuels that and only makes it worse.
That sounds good.
And then the prayer is that they find hope in Jesus.
Got it.
To be honest, I don't know, and that's really the whole reason,
Way to end it.
right? Yeah.
Good. All right. Let's get it.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems. Final segment here. Good to be back on the radio after taking a little time off. So we just wanted to talk to you guys. We've been talking about the year, kind of coming to a conclusion here. Spent the last 3 segments talking about making New Year's resolutions, trying to get yourself going, not waiting for the New Year's to happen to require that, navigating the holidays with your food and your exercise. And I guess we want to talk to you a little bit about the idea that holidays are hard, because even if you enjoy the holidays, you love the holidays, you're festive, like they're anxiety ridden a lot of times, they're depression ridden a lot of times. There's a lot of statistics, and I don't want to get these wrong, so I'm not going to talk the numbers, but about suicide rates going up. There's just a lot of things that come with the holidays that aren't always necessarily positive. And one thing I know that people will do to cope with a lot of this stuff is they'll eat.
And
drink. That's another one too. People will consume more alcohol, and the food a lot of times becomes something that people will turn to because it's an easily accessible lesser evil. So it's, man, what a tough day. I got all this stuff going on. I just don't have time to do this. Like, I deserve this. I'm gonna have this. I deserve this. But the problem is, if you're feeling down, you're feeling low, and you're dealing with depression, you're battling that already. You're going to be bringing bad food in. You're not going to be getting the right nutrients. You're going to be bringing chemicals in most times. And that's just going to send you into a deeper depression. It becomes a perpetual cycle, or anxiety. I am bipolar myself, and I can tell you when I'm eating clean, man, it is way easier to manage. Not saying that it goes away. It's not saying that day by day there's not a battle, but shoot, if I get off my food, man, you want to talk about cataclysmic catastrophe issues that go wrong. And so staying on your food during the holidays is actually the best thing you can do. It's the worst thing you can do to give it up when all of the other things are going awry. See, when things are going well and you're not anxious, you're not depressed, your exercise is disciplined, you're all in on your rest, you're sleeping good, that's when maybe you could get away with having something to eat that you shouldn't because everything else is aligned. But when all that stuff's already in chaos, getting off your food is quite possibly the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that people just start to feel alone during the holidays, and they really are seeking something. Just that flesh is just crying out for something for comfort. And there's just so much of that available everywhere, and it can be a tough time. And so, you really want to recognize that those foods will trigger that anxiety and trigger that depression and just make it so much worse. I mean, ultimately, if you're dealing with mood instability and you're really struggling in that department, your food it's a catalyst for tremendous change. So no matter what time of year it is, if that's something that you're struggling with or something that you're dealing with, then you want to make a commitment to your food. If you are simply in a position where you've experienced loss and it's the end of the year and you're alone and you are trying to make it through the holidays, or maybe you're dealing with a financial loss, maybe you're struggling, maybe your family's struggling, I can just wholeheartedly tell you that John and I have been through basically all of it. We have sat there and tried to figure out when we were or how we were going to be able to buy our groceries and what would they be, and if we could only afford this much, this would be the best, healthiest thing that we could buy. We have sat there and wondered if we were going to have a place to live. We have dealt with tremendous health issues. We have had John have very deep depression, and we've believed God for breakthrough for it. We're not here on the mic talking to you, talking down at you like quit eating bad.
We're talking with you.
We're just talking with you and helping you to understand that there's a large percentage of people out there that are really suffering during the holidays and they don't have anyone. And I have to stress, because this is what has saved and changed my life and my health and transformed everything. At the end of the day, the one answer, the biggest answer, the number one answer is a relationship with Jesus Christ. The exact reason why we have a holiday, why do we have Christmas? Why are we buying presents? Why are we celebrating around the tree? Well, because Christ was born, and he was born born to give us another option, another life, and he is our comforter, he is our protector, he is our source. When we tried to figure out how to pay for the groceries, suddenly a coupon showed up, suddenly a gift certificate showed up. When we didn't know where we were going to live, randomly, suddenly, out of the woodwork, people came in, and the stars aligned, and God provided. Prior to having faith and prior to knowing the Lord, it was a very, very lonely road.
Well, and it's hard to see that. It's hard to press into faith, and it's hard to live that kind of life when you have oppression on you. And that oppression comes in the form of not feeling well, so your aches and your pains and the sickness and the colds and the flus and the COVID and all of the things that come with
and the financial stress,
the chemical imbalances that are in your brain because of the chemicals in the food that you're consuming, and the alcohol and the inebriation and the inhibition that comes out of that. It's really tough to press through that and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to press into my faith, and I'm really going to push into this, and I'm going to feel better when you don't feel good.
Right.
Right. And that's what we're trying to talk to you about, is find somebody. Find someone to get in it with you. Find someone to wade through life with you. That's actually why we do what we do. You see, I was in law enforcement. Deb was in financial advisement. And we had no intention of working in the health field, no intention of working in the fitness field. And both of us were brought here by our own struggles, by our own troubles, and what those troubles were is I had a heart attack and almost died. Debbie developed an autoimmune condition and almost died. So we've been through the life stuff. We've been through the health stuff. So when we go to get in this stuff with you, we're not getting into it like, oh, okay, I read this in a book, let me teach you. We're getting into it like, we're in this with you. We know what it's like to go through that. And you need to find someone like that. Press into that. Don't sit and try to navigate the holidays alone. And we're not just talking about food here. We're talking about your mind and your brain and your spirit and your soul. Press into the Lord. And if you don't know how to do that, find someone that can help you.
And find a church, find a local church that is having an awesome Christmas service, and go, and don't be alone. Go and just listen to the music. We went to St. Louis Family Church this past week, and we heard the music, and it was an escape. We had something dramatic happen the day before. It was traumatic and dramatic, and we truly just felt like we got to just sit there and escape reality for an hour. The music was so uplifting, and it just changed our whole mood, and it gave us a break. We had a break from the situation.
Right. So this holiday season, just take some time, breathe, rest, recover. That's one thing I wanted to talk about here at the very end, is just make sure that you find time to rest. It is go. Everything gets caught up in the season. Everything gets caught up in the speed, the deals at the shops and the stores and the online. And do I have enough money? Should I put it on a credit card? All of that noise. There are important aspects of it, but take time to spend time with your family. Take time to spend time with the people that are important to you. Take time to spend time with you and be well. Take time to rest. Find a moment to take a nap if that's something that's going to make you feel better. I know it sounds silly, but it's easy to get yourself bound up and in a rotation of life where you're not able to be the best that you can be, and you're not able to be well because of all of the external factors going on around you. So I just want to leave you with that. I want you to just think about this holiday season. It's not too early to start. Let's get you going. If you wait till the new year, at least start trying to make some changes now. Simple changes like getting refined sugar out and hopping on a treadmill for 10 minutes a day.
And if you're alone, I can assure you that you're not. We pray blessing for you. We pray that you will gain just that feeling that you are not alone, because your faith will be there to comfort you, and the Lord is always with you. And we just pray that you will be able to find that resolve. And if there's anything that we can do to help you with your health, we would love to do it. We have a nutrition program, we have training programs, and we are ready to help you when you are ready to get started. For more information on what we do and how we do it, give us a call at 636-299-2208 and and take a look at us at integritytrainingsystems.com. We thank you so much for listening, and God bless.
Rock stars.
Yay!
Bye, guys.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much for listening.